Good evening and welcome to the Town of Douglas Planning Board meeting for Thursday, May 25th, 2023. Time is 7 p.m. First item on the agenda, Citizens Forum, call for public comment. Anyone here for that agenda item?
Yes.
Okay, name and address, please.
Lisa Lozo, 3 White Avenue. Ernie, are you joining us? Sure. And my husband Ernest is here as well.
Okay. Okay, this is the Citizens Forum, not for a specific agenda item.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Nope, that's okay. Welcome. Okay, seeing no other comments. A&Rs, 293 Southeast Main Street, New Sherburne LLC, lots 10, 11, and 12. Who is presenting on behalf of the application? Come on up, name and address, please.
Where should I? Okay. Just over here, but I see you have it.
Yeah, I got it on the screen for you.
It's a big part of the big.
Oh, yeah.
The laser doesn't reflect off it.
Oh.
But yeah, it'd be nice to have a wand at least.
My name
Welcome.
is Byron Andrews. I'm with Decreta Engineering. We're representing New Sherborne LLC. And what we are requesting is to subdivide 3 lots on the east side of Orange Street from the parent parcel. Let's see.
Oh, yours works. Mine doesn't. I want yours.
So this is the land here, these lots here you see with asterisks, they've been already subdivided out of the previous planning board meeting. So we are separating out lot 10 and 11 right there. They are standard conforming lots in frontage and area. And so we have 2 plans, one presents lot 9, it's lot 10 and 11. And the second plan is for parcel A, which will be lot 12. Lot 12 will be a retreat lot. It has twice the required area for the zone, which is a necessity for a retreat lot. It has roughly 100 feet of frontage. And the remaining land also has remaining frontage. It has 100 feet of frontage on Southeast Main Street. And it has, I think, about 250 feet of frontage on Prairie Street.
Which one was the reduced lot frontage one?
The reuse lot is lot 12.
Okay, we're not there yet, so we're doing 10 and 11.
We do 10 and 11.
Okay. Mr. Benoit, any comments?
Madam Chair, I don't have any comments. These meet all the requirements of our A&R.
Okay,
Maybe have Byron speak into a microphone if they're having trouble hearing him.
okay. Mr. Zwicker, oh yeah, there you
Thank you.
go. Board, any comments or questions?
I have one question. Just this section of Perry Street, the extension, I believe it's a private way, so I don't know if it makes a difference. Because it says the same thing, variable with public right-of-way. I just don't know if it is different because it is a private way.
Yeah, so there are plans that show it as public and as private. The consensus seems to be that it's private, but I don't think there's any definitive evidence either way. That
It's a
section,
public way, but privately owned, I think.
yeah, I think it's used as a public way.
Yeah.
And the area where it has frontage is the area of Perry Street or Perry Street Extension specifically that has the greatest width and the widest road base. And that's an area where there are already existing house lots on the road.
Okay, the town clerk has it listed as a public way. Perry Street,
Public way.
Perry Street,
Yeah,
or,
Perry Street Extension.
no, Perry Street.
Perry Street's a public way.
Okay, that's what the plan notes.
So this is Perry Street extension.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Perry Street's on the other side of.
I don't know
I'm
why it
looking
doesn't
at
say-
this plan.
should
I'm
say
looking at this
extension on the
plan. Doesn't say extension.
No.
So this portion is Perry Street Extension? Okay.
Madam Chair, the 2 lots being shown are just on Orange Street.
Okay. All right, so that would be the subject street
Yeah.
that we're,
There's a map reference, but.
okay, anything else, board?
Through the chair?
Yep.
If this is, so this was on Perry Street Extension, one of the?
No, Orange
Perry Street.
Orange Street.
Orange.
Orange Street.
The new,
So the
these two are
approval not
orange.
required
Yes,
is
okay.
for
All right,
Yeah, the new building
street
lots are
of
on
Orange
Orange.
Street.
On Orange.
yeah, okay, all right.
Orange Street.
I'll entertain a motion to endorse.
So moved.
I'll
Motion
second
made
that.
by Mr. Schultzberg, seconded by Mr. Zwicker. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
thank you. Moving on to lot number 12 on Orange Street. Mr. Benoit, any comments?
Madam Chair, originally came in as one submission for all three, but I asked Mr. Andrews to separate these out so that the reduced lot frontage plan was on its own plan. So this met the requirements of the reduced lot frontage, and I didn't have an issue.
Okay, signature box looks good.
Just a note, and I'll say it for the meeting, is that these reduced frontage lots cannot be further subdivided once they are created. And that's known to the applicant.
There's a note on the plan that says that.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I have one more comment. It may or may not be related, if you don't mind. Orange Street is one of the four scenic roads in town. I just want to let the folks know that if when it comes to develop Orange Street, and there's any stone walls out front or anything, there is a permit with the select board. That's just one of the steps in the process later on.
Right.
Also, any tree removal.
Yep, trees and and walls, yep.
Yes.
Motion to endorse the A&R for Lot 12.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Mr. Schultzberg. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Great,
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
thank you.
engineer here, Mr. Andrews is actually here for an additional business item. Would you like to take that now, or would you like to?
What is the item?
It's 4D, Perry Street extension discussion.
Okay, yeah, if we can briefly discuss
Okay.
that. Okay, what's
Okay.
the issue?
Yep, I have a plan I'll show you shortly. Basically, what we're looking for now is we just want to start engaging with the planning board, see what your concerns and comments are, and we'll take those in consideration and come back at a later point to address those.
Talking about suitable with grade construction
Yep.
improvements?
Yep. So, not sure whose this is, if Byron. Should I move this, or is this a good location?
I would want you to be very brief.
Okay.
We're not going to get into a discussion on our opinions of what improvements are needed. I think Lakeshore Ave, or Lakeshore Road is a prime example, speaking with fire and police on improvements to get it up to the standards of the A&R approval.
That's a good example.
So that's what I would be looking for, is their input and approval from those boards, those people, departments.
Through the chair, southeast all the way to Orange, is that what you're talking, or is it one section?
No, it would be south, all the way from Southeast Main Street to Orange Street.
And the improvements will need to be done before you file the A&R.
Okay, so we'll need to know what those improvements are. I know not,
What? You'll need to know? What do you
Well,
mean?
well,
Not from
before we,
us.
well, I'm just trying to find out how we find out what the improvements that will need to be made are for an A&R submission.
Right, speaking with fire and police
Okay,
and highway and looking at our historical records of the improvements that we had requested previously through the
Okay.
other projects. There's one that's very recent. So, but I don't want to get into a situation where you come here and we're going to tell you how to make the road suitable
Right.
with grade construction.
Right.
So there's standards, accepted standards that are available.
okay.
So, and more is better.
Of course.
So, right? So,
Through the chair.
yeah.
You're talking about Perry Street Extension now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When this parcel, when this piece of property was bought not too long ago, does the owner own the road now? Is the road part of what he bought? Because it hasn't been established who owns the road.
Well, I think
That's
it,
one of the problems.
yeah, it would be, thinking about it from the point of view of the parent deeds, it would either be his ownership, or if it was not his ownership, it would be town ownership, because the parcels, the historical parcels cross the road.
Yeah, the
So-
town doesn't own it, I can tell you that.
Yeah, yeah. So then he would own it.
But there's been many negotiations on what to do with this road, and nothing's ever been resolved. So I was just wondering, when he purchased this parcel, this piece of property, if he purchased the road too, if that's part of his deed, or...
It's not a separate part of the deed. It's not, there's not like a parcel in the deed that's the roadway.
Okay.
So that would be, that would be just based on the existence of the roadway and where the parcels are at this point. And of course, like the historical parcels that he acquired in the deed.
Okay.
But through the chair, the instruments, the deeds are going to need to prove that, that's all part of
Well, it's either
the
along the
parcel.
way or middle of the road,
Right, right.
fee interest.
Yeah, you have to know definitively as part of the process.
And to your point, Ernie, I mean, are they going to be seeking acceptance as a public way? Because you can look to the subdivision rules and regs and start improving in accordance with those.
I don't think we necessarily would be looking to do that. So we basically would be looking to see what standards we need to improve it to, and what's the base mechanism, whether it's legal or to physically improve sections of the road to get that done. Okay. All right, so we'll consult with the fire department, with the public safety, and the highway department.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Yep, quick question, name and address, please.
Frank Noel, Grafton, Mass. I'm Agent for New Sherburne. In 1989, you voted to not accept building permits until that road was approved. You gave out 12 in 2001 without anybody paving that road. So why are we responsible for it now?
I'm not going to get into that with you, so
Right.
I didn't say the word paving either. So,
Said DOT, did you say DOT specs?
no, I did not. But I would reach out to Mr. Benoit, and he's very familiar with what the board had requested with the last roadway that needed to be improved in order to be eligible for an A&R endorsement.
Even on a private way?
Yeah,
Yes.
different road in town.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Back to regularly scheduled, thank you. Public hearing 7 PM, and is now 7:13. 392 Northeast Main Street, LLC, application for site plan review. Town of Douglas Planning Board, legal notice of public hearing, name of applicant owner, 392 Northeast Main Street, LLC. Date and time of public hearing, Thursday, May 25th, 2023, at 7 PM. Subject matter of the hearing,
What's it? Yeah, right.
the applicant is requesting approval from the Douglas Planning Board pursuant to the Douglas zoning bylaws, Section 9.4, site plan review. Project description, the project consists of demolishing an existing building and garage and to build one new structure, full basement, ground floor retail space, 2 apartments on the second floor, and parking to accommodate. Project site and location, the project is located at 392 Northeast Main Street, Douglas. Assessors map 141, parcel 44. Place of public hearing, Douglas Municipal Center, resource room. I'm sorry, if you need any conversations, I'm trying to read the public notice for the next hearing. Place of public hearing, Douglas Municipal Center, Resource Room, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Any person interested or wishing to be heard should appear at the time and place designated. Visit www.douglas-ma.gov for the agenda and Zoom information. Copy of the application is available for review during regular business hours in the Community Development Department, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. May 9th and May 16th. Okay, who is here on behalf of the applicant? Name and address, please.
Jim McCallahan, excuse me, 3 Lackey Dam Road, Douglas, Massachusetts.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
with Hawk Consulting.
Through the chair, do we need a motion to open the public hearing?
sure. Is that a motion?
Make a motion to open the
Second.
public hearing.
Ms. Schlesman makes the motion.
Second.
Mr. Sokrat, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
So what we have is an existing liquor store at 392 Northeast Main Street. The owner wants to raise that building and build a new building, which will have retail on the bottom and 2 apartments upstairs above. Grading right now goes downhill towards the back of the lot. Proposed grading is the same thing. It has 2 apparently dry wells that accommodate the drainage now, but we propose infiltrators to accomplish the drainage. We have, I think now 14 parking spaces. A handicap parking space. Access on the first floor is at elevation 107. It's accessible via a ramp for handicap and stairs on the right side of the building up to that elevation. The elevation is also 107 for the first floor of the building. There's a basement that has access in the back of the building. We have a landscaping area that provides snow removal storage area, and we've also added on the note that will include the 2 adjacent parking spots if necessary. We have 1 retaining wall to support the grade up to the 107 elevation at the front of the building and on the right side of the building. Landscaping in the front, a new sidewalk along the road, 5-foot concrete sidewalk, which will tie into the sidewalk at the front of the building.
Is this in the aquifer overlay?
No.
Huh? That's what I thought. Yes.
Oh, it is?
Yes. So that changes the regulations a little bit also, and you need a aquifer permit, I believe.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
We talked about that with the building commissioner.
Yep.
Because this is a net reduction in impervious surface, and we'll need a special permit.
Okay,
We're actually adding impervious area
okay.
because the whole thing's asphalt right now.
Where's the impervious added?
The whole
The
thing is,
impervious area.
I mean, where's the pervious added?
landscaping front, snow removal area.
Impervious area.
The whole thing is asphalt now. So any landscaping is net.
Okay. And then the concrete walk you're proposing is within the right-of-way? Has that been approved by the town, by the Board of Selectmen?
No.
Okay. Okay, and then we have our peer review consultant reply 2 days ago. Has anything, can you address any of those items on there?
Most of the items refer to a plan that was submitted originally,
Okay,
and the building concept, the elevations, the stairways, those were all added afterwards. So it really, we understand what we need, but they will be applied to the new plan, which we gave to the town 2 days ago.
okay. Did you supply a lighting plan? So there's no spillage, lighting spillage, light pollution? You have,
we show-
yeah, photometric,
No, we don't have that.
okay, and then you have dark sky lighting, since this is in a neighborhood? No?
Yeah, I think all we do is show lighting on the corners of the building and directional lighting.
Okay, and how's the site view from the exits?
Oh, going right or left?
Yeah,
It's
do you have that on here?
No,
Okay, site distances,
okay. Nope, but I will on the next one.
okay. I know that's a little tricky to come in and out, and then, do you have anywhere noted the width of that opening?
Still need to.
It might be on the other plan.
We need 2 means egress.
24?
24 foot, yeah, on the site plan. Same width as the distance between the parking areas is 24 foot.
And you only need one handicap accessible
Yeah.
spot?
Yes.
Do you have the parking calculation per square footage on here anywhere?
No.
Okay.
We need more than.
So running down the comments from the peer review, they are still taking the 423. So are you saying that these were revised somewhere in between? This is 418.
Yes.
Looks like he has the ones that the correct ones.
Yeah. We have 420,
Oh, so you have brand new ones with the revision?
425,
Oh, okay.
425.
Yeah, I have
Yeah, we have
423.
425, yeah.
423 or 425? And the first page. Okay, so no revisions have been incorporated into the plans at this moment.
We just got the plans to an elevation
Okay,
coordinated with the landscaping.
Okay.
We will be submitting new revised plans, taking into account Kevin Quinn's comments.
okay, okay. All right. Board, let's go around. Yes, Mrs. Sokrat.
So I have a question on the parking plan. When we like to lay out 40 feet, when cars are backing out into each other in a very active parking lot, you have 24 feet, it says clearly, which is the size of a garage. And I wouldn't want to be turning in my garage. So I think you have to have your engineers look at that. Maybe I'm wrong, after 32 years, I don't know. But that 24 feet is not enough. Now, maybe you could put parking parallel all the way up on the right to give you more width in there, but just check on that, because somebody's going to back out, a car's 18 foot long for a truck, and that means they got 6 feet to turn, to maneuver, and you know that, Mark, Mike, better than anybody. That is not big enough. So that's just one thing. We're not here to deal with architectural, but you only have one means of egress for each dwelling unit. That's neither here nor there, all right? Check on that.
It's a mixed use, so it needs sprinkler system.
Pardon?
It's a mixed use, so it's going to require a sprinkler system. So it's,
You're still going to need 2 means of egress.
no,
Well,
no.
just
I'm
check.
sorry, I'm Peter.
Just check it out.
I'm Peter Lomelsky for the architect.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
No,
But
yep,
just
name
check
and
it out.
address if somebody's going to be speaking.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. Thank you.
Through the chair, I got a
Yes.
couple questions. I'm assuming all delivery then, all the tractor trailers will be backing into this facility? Because how else are they gonna get in there? Right now, they can drive around, because you can drive 360 around the building. You have two,
But they don't.
oh, man,
Not all the truck, because 18-footers and longer, they actually stay on the main road.
they'll stop on the main road?
Yeah, they're going to go.
But the other,
on the main road.
right. But the other issue is going to be you're proposing a brand-new concrete walkway, sidewalk, where those trucks currently park and pull over.
So we need to figure that out, if we could. The other thing is on the concrete walk opposite of the parking spots, is that going the full length of the building down there on the left?
Yes,
Yeah.
it ties into the sidewalk.
Yeah,
Going all the way around? So then let me ask you
it
this.
doesn't go all the way around the building, it's just in the front.
On the left side?
It's right over here.
Oh, no,
Only goes
that's been
back 20
changed.
feet.
We took that out.
Okay, well, that's, all right, I'm going by what's in front of me here. So what's going to go there then?
A swale. There's 20 foot from the corner to the basement entrance. After that, it's just the grass swale.
Okay. And then if I can ask through the chair, on the backside where the retaining wall is, from that area where the handrail to the property line, that is going to be grass and seed?
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't see nothing there saying what's going to be done. So I'm just asking, there's nothing anywhere that's saying what's what
Yeah, we have, yeah.
on here. And as to the chair, as Aaron brought up, what is the distance, the exact distance between the two parking spot areas?
24 feet.
24.
I know.
Okay. I don't know. Unless everybody's driving a Pinto or a Yugo, it's going to be pretty tough to start spinning around in that area. 24
Well,
feet.
for an 18-foot, for a,
Somebody has
for an
a, somebody has a
18-wheeler.
dually cab pickup, which is everywhere nowadays and things of that nature, then they themselves are well over 20 feet close to it.
Right. They're gonna, should be
So-
40, it could be.
Through the chair, how many, do we know how many parking spaces are required for this project?
I think it's 13. 12 or 13.
12 or 13?
We have 14. Well, I'm not sure what we have on there, but we have 14 on there.
Yeah, let's see.
So we typically have the parking loading requirements on the plan. So I guess I want to go through the comments from the peer review and see if there's anything that you don't agree with, you're not going to do, or is there everything, the plan is going to be revised with everything that's commented on?
Yes.
So-
His comments were more than adequate, and we can
Okay.
take care of those.
Okay. Board, anything else anyone wants to ask before I open it up to public comment?
All right, to the chair, just one more thing. How many parking spots are there now, at present?
It's not striped, so.
Number 6.
Six.
That included in the round back,
Well, there's nothing in the back.
along the side over here?
No, that's just,
The round back is a drive-through.
it's just a drive-through.
They're parking in the back. This car's that parked down in the back. I live
I'm sorry. Yep, one moment, please.
Okay.
Save your comments, couple minutes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right,
Yes.
I didn't hear, how many parking spots are there available right now?
Saying six.
Right now,
he's saying 6.
6. And you're putting 2 apartments upstairs, so that'd be,
2 more. No, at present there's 6, with the old building. You're proposing 14 for
The
the
units are
building.
1.5 parking spaces.
14 for
you
the,
got, if you have 2 apartments and you have, people have 2 cars each, that's 4 taken up
That's
right
4
there
right
already.
there,
Yeah.
Right.
But if I may, through the chair, I mean, I'm in favor of them reducing the parking from 15 to, say, 10 or 11, if they can make sure that that space in the middle is adequate and they run some parallel parking along the right. I'm not sure that they potentially need the 15. I just want it to be safer in there for everybody turning around.
It's a retail.
Well, I think they
Yeah.
need, they need to prove that they're meeting the regulations for
Correct,
the
you're right,
parking,
but we
the
haven't seen
loading.
that exactly yet.
I don't want to redesign the plan.
No, I understand.
I think
but
that there's,
Somehow they gotta get more room.
well, it's a concern for the parking. So that can be noted.
Sure.
And I'm not seeing the regs for the parking. You said it was 1.5 spaces per?
some of these apartments.
And then it's
Excuse me, let me
square
ask the
footage.
architect, because he knows, this,
Yeah.
I know him. so
What's the
he's good.
square footage?
No, and you're right, with the sprinkler, you only need one egress. I didn't know that. What, is it 1.5 per unit?
I believe we're looking, yeah, I believe 1.5 spaces, so it's.
That's what I said, so 3 for the 2
How many
units.
square feet is
You
it?
get the storage area in the basement, and
38
one space, so the calculation.
So 4 plus, yeah.
Based on the regulations, 14 spaces is more. We're actually, I believe, 1 or 2 above.
I think, excuse me if I may, just, I think if it's a safe, very open parking lot, the activity can be quicker, people are in and out, if you have less
For
parking
retail?
spaces, and again, I'm not trying to
And
redesign it.
then, so that would
just
be
would
nine,
aware
that would
of
be
the
10
backup
spaces. And then residential, yeah,
One per dwelling?
okay.
Okay.
Through the chair, will those be dedicated spaces for those tenants? They'll be specific, they'll be specified
Yeah,
there,
allegedly.
so they can only park
Eventually used.
in certain places.
That was the intention.
Okay.
Yes.
Put them in the back. Further in.
Yeah.
Less activity.
Well, yeah, I mean,
So through the chair. So in one drawing, you have a walkout in the basement area of the building. Where on this layout is that door entrance?
We've revised that.
So none of this is any good?
It's right there.
Which is going to be where? Over here?
Yes. And there's 20 foot of sidewalk to that door, and the rest is a grass strip.
You're talking about, that's that front corner of the street, that walkway in the back?
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about. Fire control room and
So this here is going to be in what corner of this here lot? Right over here?
yeah, exactly. Yep.
So this is road height. You having steps in going down?
It's an 0.8%, less than 1% grade from the road to the exit.
Yeah, but that's the basement door entrance.
Right. Yeah. So it's not a steep grade, it's really relatively flat.
Right. They have plenty of ability to get there, so that means egress for the apartments.
Did you supply the Caltech calcs as a sheet, as an 8.5 by 11 sheet? These
We
prints that you
submitted it.
have on here?
We submitted a drainage study with
Okay,
2 10 and 100-year storms.
okay. 100 year?
So this is the main entrance to this.
Oh, I'm missing part of this comment page,
Here?
the third page. This is ending as maybe presumptive,
They need another handicap area.
and then it says, thank you.
Oh,
They hope the building looks better than this, huh?
Madam Chair, so in speaking with our
Maybe better than what
peer
it
review
says now.
consultant, you knew there were numerous comments that needed to be addressed. Didn't expect them to be addressed in advance of this meeting.
Yep.
We did have a conflicting meeting we could go to, and so look, since we're not expecting the changes tonight, don't attend tonight, but he did note that there were many changes that need to be made. And as you heard from the applicant, they're open to make those changes. Hoping that we'll have a peer review consultant at our next hearing.
Okay,
Good.
okay. All right, and when do you suspect that you'd get your plan in with the revisions by?
10 days from now.
Okay.
Our next meeting's not until the 27th.
Okay, oh, okay, all right, well, I just want to give the peer review enough time to be ready and get you back more comments if needed, or 0 comments. Okay, all right, anyone in the audience have questions or concerns regarding this hearing? Name and address, please.
Mr. Maloney, that's 389 Northeast Main, I live across the street. This parking is never going to work. I've lived there for 66 years, and I've seen everything. And just parking on one side of the building is not going to work. Right now, they got parking on both sides. They got parking down in the back where he says you're going to put the dumpster and the snow removal. People park down there. They park on the right side of the building, and they also park on the left side of the building. There's plenty of parking, and trucks right around. there's no going around anymore, and everybody's gonna try to go on that one side. It's gonna be one big mess. And anybody delivering just parks on the main street, whether they're facing up the street or down the street, right in the main street is where everybody parks. Other trucks back down the other side, on the left side, which is not gonna be there anymore. And that's where they pick up stuff and deliver stuff. And you're gonna lose all that, so everybody's gonna be on the main street. And then you get the phone company on the other side, when they park there, they pull up on the sidewalk, because if they don't, there isn't enough room on the street for cars to go by. I've seen everything in 66 years, trust me.
Okay.
If I can, to the
Yes.
chair, one thing, you got to think about employee parking too now. How many people are going to work there? Just one person? 2 people? You know, 3? So right off the bat, you could have 5 parking spots taken care of, gone.
So our reg, I believe, is 1 parking spot per 250 square feet.
Yep.
So that would do 10 spaces for the retail. And then, I think 1 per unit, dwelling unit. So that's 12.
And handicap?
It has to be within that 10. The regulation.
Doesn't have to be.
1 per 10.
Okay.
But it's mixed use. It would be a mixed use construction too, so it's not.
Through the chair, does there need to be an additional handicap spot in the case where a resident will be handicapped in addition to the retail handicap space?
I don't think on our reg, but I defer to the architect on the reg requirements for that type of building. That's why the parking chart is good, so that we know how they've calculated the requirements and the reference. Yeah, on the plan. Everything, we want every single bit on the plan of everything. Okay, board, anything else? Anyone else in the audience have questions or concerns regarding?
We do.
Yep, name and address, please.
Lisa and Ernie Lozo, 3 White Avenue. I'm just wondering, excuse me?
Yep, nope, you're good.
Okay. I'm just wondering what the impact is expected to be in terms of the delivery vehicles that park on Main Street already. Is there going to be an increase in that if the retail space is bigger, or an increase in traffic in and out of that lot? Just because you already have cars coming around that corner pretty quick from the Uxbridge side. So when you're pulling out of White Ave, you're trying to pull out quickly, make that left turn, and then you're faced with delivery trucks or traffic in and out of the liquor store. So I would just be concerned about that problem increasing.
What's the existing building square footage right now?
I don't remember. The retail.
Yes, the retail.
The retail space?
I think we would be more concerned about the business instead of the residential
You're right, I would.
portion of it. So, right now,
Existing building.
The existing, it's small.
It's probably half or something, I would imagine.
Yeah.
so the square footage of the retail is going to be 2,470 square feet? Is that what it is? Your proposed?
2140 square feet of retail space.
2140?
Correct.
Okay,
Something less than what's there now, slightly.
okay.
The other thing, just to, if I could respond to the caller, is that, and I understand the delivery questions and concerns, part of the fact that we could use the basement as storage, there'll be less deliveries because there's more capacity to carry products. So there'll actually be less deliveries at a time than there is right now.
Okay,
And also, there is no change in the delivery schedule. It's going to be same.
okay. Yeah, and the square footage of the building's going to be slightly smaller for the retail space?
The what?
No.
Slightly smaller, that's what Mr. Benoit said.
2140 is going to be the retail.
Well, he can get the card.
It's probably half now, right?
Right now, it's only 1,000.
1,100 or
It's
12?
about nine- it's got about
900?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
9,000
So
to
it's a-
1,000
Oh, I
probably.
see.
1,000.
If you take the actual retail space
Oh,
of it.
okay.
So it's
What
about
is it?
half. Yeah. So
Oh,
we're doubling
okay.
the size of the space.
Okay.
which they kind of need to maintain.
This included the other.
We also have the garage coming down also, it's in the back,
Right?
back there.
And that's been primarily used for storage?
Storage, impervious area, so.
There's also a Connex box on site for storage, and that will go away. And the other thing is with the traffic situation, you're ending up with one curb cut instead of the current existing two. So it should eventually lend itself to a safer egress.
Okay. And the applicant is proposing to pay for the new concrete walkway in the street?
Yes.
So you're going to construct that?
If it's approved.
Okay. And will you allow the trucks to drive on top of it after you construct it?
You got a pedestrian walkway, too.
Well, yeah, it's illegal
Yeah, you can't.
to block the sidewalk,
They do.
but, yeah,
Everywhere.
until they get tickets.
Yeah.
Then, do you have another comment or
Yeah, you
question?
mentioned the phone company, they park on the sidewalk all the time. The sidewalk's all broken from them parking there. And I have hedges in my front yard. They park right next to my hedges, so nobody can use the sidewalk. They have to go on the road and walk down the road.
Yeah,
That's what
that's,
Lisa, my neighbor, she was just on there. She has 2 children, and when they were small, she used to have to go on the road with the stroller to get around the trucks.
yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
And there's no parking signs on that side of the road, but everybody parks there, nobody enforces it, so.
Okay. And then you've got your signage, so you need to add your signage details on all, not only just where your, like the business sign, but also the enter and exit signs, any signage that you're proposing on the plan. Then I'd like to see those, the lumens also. You don't show any lighting on this, right? Right now? Or is it on the other plan?
On this one, it is. We just,
On the architectural?
yeah. Oh, I don't know. You never know.
No.
Lighting?
No.
Okay.
No, no lighting at
So
all.
that's a big one,
On the
especially when
revised
you're
one-
in
on
the
revised
neighborhood.
one we did. We did.
So,
And through the chair, especially with apartments too, for lighting,
yep.
you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So.
Yes.
Earlier this week, the gentleman making comments, but also raised another concern. So that was all lighting after hours.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the lighting, flashing lighting, go all night. So just a note for the board. Possible condition of approval, something like that, to reduce to security lighting after hours and stuff. So it's just something he raised, I wanted to echo it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't see why not. So you're talking about an open sign that's flashing or something, or an advertisement?
You might want to add to it.
Okay. You mentioned the flashing lights after hours.
Yeah, well, they have an ATM sign in the window, and there's been times in the past when they left it on all night long. I had to put a piece of plywood in my bedroom window so I could sleep.
Okay.
The light just lights up the whole inside of my house.
I can put that on the
I
top.
called them, but right now it's been staying on steady. But if they're gonna put more signage in, I don't need my house lit up like it's a Christmas tree all night long.
Right, yeah, you need some sleep. So,
In fact, the front desk is actually changing on the other side.
So-
And I will actually reduce the signage.
okay, okay. So the front door is turning away from your home. And
The building's not gonna be in the front, it's gonna be on the side.
the entrance,
I still gotta say, guys, you're not gonna have enough parking. All the years I've lived
well,
there,
he's hoping that he doesn't have enough parking if he gets that busy. And then you'll be okay with a timer on any
Yes,
lights and security lighting after hours only?
yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was just probably left on. Okay, anyone else in the audience? Questions or concerns? Hearing none, seeing none. Board?
Send me a copy, but I never
I just like the peer review's comments on the parking situation.
Yeah, I think big ones, lighting, parking, stormwater. Pretty much the big
Parking
ones.
distance between, that 24 feet's enough.
And the spot grades to make sure that water's not going into the street.
Yep.
Did you have those?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if it's on that plan, it is on the
Just don't think
our
that's.
new plan.
They're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, but
Well, we have an opportunity to redevelop so that there's an ease of before hours, after hour deliveries.
Yeah.
We should really say, put signs for no parking. He's paying for a new sidewalk. He should instruct all the deliveries to be before hours or
Oh, yeah.
after hours.
If I can, through the chair, so does that go through the highway department, having all that?
For what? Oh, curb cut?
Sidewalk in the front? Because you'd be in the easement on the road, so wouldn't that all go
Selectmen.
through highway?
No, the selectmen are the road
No, the
commissioners.
The selectmen would?
Yeah, Selectmen make all those
Okay.
decisions.
I'm just saying,
They're the road commissioners,
so
yeah,
that they know they have to go through
yeah.
all that to get it all done.
Yeah, for a permit, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I may through the chair.
Is the business coming out closer to the road now?
Yes,
The building is
yes,
Not helpful.
yes, it is.
If I may through the chair, this is outside the box for you guys. If the building moved back 6 feet or so, could you ease in the sidewalk? Could you ease in the sidewalk so that you pick up 6 feet or so for the trucks to pull over, so it's sort of like an eased in, basically without parking on the sidewalk?
I don't think-
Just a thought, just throwing it out.
It'd be a variance requirement, because right now the building fits within the setback requirements. So we're 15 feet to the back corner of the property. If we want to move back 6 feet, we have to.
No, I'm not saying you move back, you might have to reduce the footprint of the building by, 6 feet or something back in order to accommodate. If we're saying tractor trailers are going to park there, is there a way to design it in such a way that there's an accommodation for them? That's all, I just threw it out. That's all.
Well, I mean, we are about 4 or 5 feet off the property line, so we could still ease off that area, put the sidewalk up against the building facade.
Yeah, I mean, something.
So you could ease that up if you wanted to.
And if I can, through the chair, I totally understand the concerns. You have Amazon, you have FedEx, you have UPS, you have everybody. They just park alongside the road, they do the delivery, and they're gone. Yeah, I mean, I don't care where you go in this country, you see it, it's done every day. It's something that's the nature of the beast. I hate to say it. Yeah, it'd be nice if there was 20 acres here and you could have them pull off and do the whole 9 yards, but it doesn't happen in every community, especially once you start getting into a smaller, tighter area. I mean, every house along that road, I guarantee you, has had trucks parked on the road, in front of their house, in front of their business, to make deliveries.
Well, then I think that we have the
Having sidewalk, at
opportunity.
least, if they get them a little bit off the road, instead of being in the road.
Well,
But
you could do a swoop in too, if you're assuming that somebody's going to be pulling off, you have a pull-off area instead of doing a full sidewalk that people are just gonna run over with their car.
Yeah.
Right.
So he had suggested to move the sidewalk within the property line, which you're gonna be paying for it, so why not have it on your property?
Right.
And then have designated, loading, unloading area, and I think that would be a better solution. Keep the
Oh,
curb cut
whatever,
and
but I'm
then
just
swale
saying,
it in, tuck it in
Yeah.
towards the building, so at least you've got another 5 feet.
Could gain, right.
So
Oh,
that
yeah,
you're
no,
not in the
like I said,
street.
every little bit helps, but the idea is, it's done every day.
Yeah, but for residential drop-offs, which are so rare compared to big tractor trailers, coming in, we want them to have a good accommodation so that they can run their business efficiently. And that's all I'm suggesting, that if it's helpful to them, I think it's great if it can be done. If it can, it can.
There is no sidewalk on that side of the street now. That's, sidewalk's on the other side.
That's how it's street.
If you're putting in a sidewalk, it's gonna be your
Yeah,
sidewalk.
that's
You're not
what-
proposing to have it in the town right away.
That's what I was going to suggest. What if we don't put a sidewalk in?
It's your sidewalk.
So you just ease in the truck.
Businesses are allowed,
Pardon me?
You ease in the
trucks are allowed to park in front of businesses for
Yeah.
delivery.
We'll just eliminate
Can't
the
sit there all
sidewalk.
afternoon, but if you're making a delivery, you have a certain
It's done
time
every day.
restraint that you can make a delivery.
See it all day in Newton, you see it all day in Wellesley, you see it
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's-
So I would revisit the sidewalk situation.
But, yeah, you're not infringing on the town's right of way, so it's your sidewalk anyway, so.
Well, yes, it is infringing
Well, if
on the
it's-
right of
if
way.
it's in the
It's
right of way.
narrowing the street paved width.
Yes,
No,
it is.
by putting this, they needed the permission to get
They can move,
into the road.
yeah, they can get off the road a little bit further, yeah.
Well, if we can run a 4-foot sidewalk along the side of the building, we're pulling it out of the right-of-way, and it gives more.
I don't even know, I mean, I don't even know why you just don't put it at on the, east, west side of the building. Why do you need it? Why do you need it?
Sidewalk?
Why do you need the sidewalk?
Mainly, we did it so we had landscaping area in the front, it looks better, but looking better in a facility, trucks are.
Well, you could do a curb and then you could put the plantings right in front of the building.
Right.
And then have just the concrete walkway and have the deliveries park there and then go to the front of their car. They're gonna do that instead of so much concrete.
Trucks right there.
Is the entrance, I'm sorry, through the chair, is the entrance going into the store still on Main Street?
No, it's on the side.
Yeah, it's by the handicap parking. It's in the center there. Yeah, I think, and then you have less impervious now. And maybe picking up some more space for parking. It's tough to tell. Okay, so you get some work to do on this. Good, good. I will entertain a motion to continue this public hearing until
22nd,
How much is that? Would they like to come in?
June 22nd.
June 22nd.
June 22nd.
Yes, at 7 PM.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Zwicker,
Second.
second by Mr. Schultzberg. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your
Good luck.
Thanks. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm gonna step out for a second.
Okay.
We kind of go way back, but you have more hair than me.
There's a lot of history, actually, know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move right along. Are we ready to do meeting minutes? March 23rd? April 13th?
First time I've seen them,
April 27th?
first time, I think it's the first time we've
Just the,
seen them. I don't think they've been floating around.
What are you here for?
We're here on behalf of Second Generation Partners.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right, so in your packet, you have a request from Attorney Knappich for a lot release. Mr. Benoit, did anyone review that?
Yes.
Okay, and it's been approved?
Town council has reviewed the draft signature.
How did that, it sounds like it's coming from above. That's, oh, it's like the speaker out there is funneling into here or something. How is it, the speaker's in here?
Party in the other room?
From the hallway.
Is that a friendly discussion or is it an argument?
Yeah, friendly. No, friendly.
Friendly.
Okay, so in our packet, we have the partial release. It's been approved by town council, so
Sorry, Madam Chair.
that's okay.
Also, the reason that the lot release is acceptable at this point is because the road is built to a standard. We've already done a partial release to release lot 6 when back-to-back first came to us. A bond is in place for the remaining road work, so the lot release is acceptable in my opinion.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to release lots 1, 2, 3, and 4 from the covenant in accordance with the partial release of covenant and conditions provided to us.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Mr. Schultzberg. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then, so you're all set?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great. Appreciate it.
Miss, what are you here for?
I was just sitting here after the subdivision regulation discussion,
Oh, okay. All right.
seeing if there was something different.
Oh, okay.
Waiting to see paint you.
All right, we have our registry of deeds signatures, CMRPC delegate, possible votes. we typically have the newbie
Why is
as the delegate. I think almost everyone has done it.
Oh, yeah.
That's just technically, Meg was nominated once already. She was holding that spot for the last year. All right, so by technicality, I guess the newest member just got reelected.
Oh,
Oh.
No, but, yeah, it's.
Did you go to any meetings?
Did not.
Okay, yeah.
I'm happy to take that responsibility.
Okay, I will entertain a motion.
Very courageous.
Please, everyone say aye.
For Ms. Schlesman to be our CMRPC delegate.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Marks,
Second.
second by Mr. Greco. All those in favor?
Aye. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for
My
serving.
second.
And then Perry Street Extension discussion, we already did that. Letter of intent, Walnut Street. In our folder, we have notification of Mary Pepka's intent to sell 2.07 acres of land labeled lot number 2. It's in 61B. I'll entertain a motion. It's for 110,000. Entertain a motion to recommend to the Board of Selectmen to not exercise our rights of first refusal.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Zwicker.
Second.
Second by Mr. Marks. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And
Through the chair, do we have to redo?
oh, organization.
Yeah.
I didn't put that on our agenda, and the only
That's
reason I
all right.
didn't do that is because we didn't do it until July last year.
Okay.
Because of COVID stuff.
Yeah, well, we also didn't have full quorum,
Yeah.
to be honest.
So if I may make a motion to keep it the way it is.
It has to be in the agenda.
It does, why?
Put it on the agenda.
Put it on the agenda.
Put it on for next meeting?
Therefore, and then it gets closer to the election,
Because I
too.
get to open the meeting, so.
Is everybody going to be here next meeting? Everybody going to be here next meeting?
Why not? Should be. Oh, when is it?
I'm just checking.
I
June
am
27th,
not
maybe.
going to be here.
That's why I wanted to go at this meeting.
You can put it on.
Huh?
If there's no surprises, you can put it on.
I think we can go ahead and put it on.
That's like a month. The whole month to the next meeting.
We're in summer months.
Okay,
June,
moving
July,
forward, subdivision
I don't
regulations.
object.
One thing I'd like to discuss with the board about something today.
Okay,
I introduced this kind of early on when I first started working here. I went out like a double in, but that's okay. One of the things that I'm noticing more recently with conceptual plans and stuff is very irregular lots. Folks are getting very creative with how they're shaping lots so that they can get the total size of lots. Mostly in the residential A zone, they need their 90,000 square feet. Sometimes they don't have that when they're dividing up their plans on A&R or whether subdivision or not, and you end up with these odd-looking, snaky lots that if you were to purchase that lot yourself, buy your house and lived in it, you might not even know where your land goes because it wraps around someone else's property, or it has a long snake across the back tail. So a lot of towns adopt something called an R factor, and a lot of engineers that come to us know that we don't have an R factor, so they put these very creative lots in front of us, and we just saw several of them at tech review. And I can't bring them before you now because they're conceptual, but my goodness, they were very, very, very unique. Granted, they had the frontage, but still getting 90 square feet through a very snaky lot that are all hugging each other. You end up with several lots with tails in the back that are like 50 feet wide, just running the length of it. It's really strange looking. So something we could consider, and I'd be happy to bring this to the next meeting if the board's okay with it, is what's called the R factor, an irregularity factor. Into the subdivision regulations, it's an equation. It's R equals 16A over perimeter squared. It's just math that the engineers have to do as part of their submission to prove that the lot doesn't reach a certain coefficient. It's not considered irregular. Just curious your opinions about this over the years. The planning board run into things like this, where you see these creative patterns. I just saw a bunch of them at tech review all at once, so it kind of got me thinking about it again. I'd be happy to introduce it to you guys. Running the equations is really difficult when the lots are irregular, so I'm not exactly going to throw a Pythagorean theorem up here and pretend that I'm Isaac Newton. So on a rectangle, it's really easy to show you, but that's really complicated with these odd lots. If you recall, we had one on South Street not too long ago with an A&R. It was a common driveway. And I don't mean to pick on these folks, but it's the first one that came to mind to me. But if this,
Lot 1?
this lot right here is the same as Lot 1, which wraps around the backs of these lots. I don't know why the image.
I see it. Yep.
But it ends up coming here too, and it contains this house.
To get the 2 acres, right?
Yeah. So they came forward because they carved it off right here, put a common driveway in, but the only reason they had the sufficient land is because of this weird tail and the frontage over here. So now folks are trying to like take a undeveloped parcel of land and fit as many parcels in as you can. But look at some of these as examples. Like these are what we're getting, and we're getting even more of them now with these long tails across the back. These ones would probably be okay.
So it's all about frontage to start with.
Right, but then we're getting these really irregular ones coming in. So I think it's something we should explore. The town of Auburn does it in their zoning bylaw for hammerhead lots. We don't have those in our regulations. So I think it's something we might just consider for A&Rs. But I just want to be able to toss it out there and see if it's something we're even interested in looking into any further before I really get into it. So.
I mean, there's an ability for a waiver,
Yeah.
so if it's in our regulations.
That's why I thought that'd be a good spot for it, instead of making it a zoning mandate.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
reason being is the town's so old and so divided up, there's gonna be some lots, you're gonna have no choice but to do that. So I could see it going forward where having a nice normal lot is nice, but you know, like when I bought my lot, they figured about a 50-foot strip of land between 2 other lots. They had to include into my lot because everybody forgot about it. So I mean, it is gonna happen.
yeah, I'd have to think about it only because they have the frontage and they have the appropriateness. I mean, there's also a width requirement that we could propose where, through the zoning envelope that you had to have the certain width maintained. That's something else, but it's a nightmare for an engineer to do. But it's kind of like, why is it there in the first place? How is that even happening? I mean, those lots are kind of already made swiggly, and now it's just like a domino effect.
If I may, through the chair, we've had this conversation where, and we were sort of the benefit, well, it doesn't matter for us, so we could do something later, that how deep is deep if you have your 200-foot frontage, and then you go down and it's 10 feet deep, 100 feet. What is it that it should be at an angle and open up and not have, you get your 2 acres somewhere else, but you get your 200 feet, but it only goes back 10 feet or 20 feet.
Well, the appropriateness of a buildable lot for the future of the citizen, right, that's living there. You have the 200 feet, and maybe the better solution would be the depth or a width maintained.
A minimum width
At a
along that
certain,
200 feet.
for a certain distance.
Right. I think, you hear what I'm saying?
I mean, the tails are one thing, but it doesn't bother me so much as the narrowing of a lot
In
and
the
then.
front,
Yeah, because we don't have that.
Right, because I'll bet, excuse me, again, through the chair, 2 acres, to me, is a lot of acreage. I mean, coming from, where, Natick, Wellesley, whatever. So you can get that house in there with the setbacks pretty easily, unless you have some sort of restrictions on wetlands or whatever else. And I don't care what happens in the back. If you have a tail around the back, it's the front that maybe we need to have a minimum 40 feet, 50 feet, 100 feet, going back.
Well, your setback alone is 50 feet from the road, just to stop.
Yeah, but that's where the house is, not where the land, the rest of
Right,
the
but
200.
if you're gonna go to the 200 feet, you wanna go at least to 50 feet, and then the distance for a house at 200 feet before you start thinking about your shrink down.
Well, and it's like, what's the point of having that little tail like that's not usable space and, but we don't have any more of the rectangles left. The 90,000 square foot rectangle.
I think this would be a harder, sorry.
Yeah.
Sure. I think it'd be a harder pill to swallow was proposing this with the zoning bylaw.
Oh, yeah.
I think as a,
Oh, yeah.
as a subdivision regulation, you have your discretion, your waiver. So, but A&Rs, we have legit criteria that we have to review. So that if you put it in there, then it's not exactly waiver. But, I mean, it is when I'm reviewing these things before they submit them, I'm saying you didn't hit the R factor.
Right, the mandate.
But if we do it as a subdivision, and you're asking for different concepts, if you want to submit a compound or a flex or a standard, that's one of your things that you can consider that they run the numbers on or not. And it just gives you discretion, so I thought it was worth bringing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's something to think about because
You have a subdivision lot
It's
going in,
ugly.
you like
It's
to have
just
it all nice
ugly.
lots, not a bunch of straggly tails for them
Feel
to
bad for the
houses stuck
surveyors
in.
have to go out and survey that if
Yeah.
it's ever in question.
Yeah.
Future sales of land,
Yeah.
so like, what did you own? Oh, you owned like 50 feet that way. That's
Yeah.
a straight line.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
build-
that's
if you're building
definitely
a new
something
city or a new, I mean, you can do that for rectangles and all that, but towns like Douglas and Old New England, you gotta get your land someplace, and it's not,
Yeah.
everything's messed up to begin with, never mind trying to find a rectangle, you're not gonna find it. So people who have to get creative to get their 2 acres or whatever they're zoned for, but I personally don't, if you have your frontage and you have
The square
land,
footage.
It's
I
always
don't
been
care
that
if
they
it
used to call
tails
them
up.
book chop lots, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Right from the get-go, they
Yeah.
used to have those frontage lots, you know, trying to make it work.
Yeah. And now these are new ones that are creative.
But through the board, it'd be like if a new subdivision comes in though, try to make it where they're all a nice lot.
Yeah.
And not a snake lot.
Right, yeah.
They have some reg in there saying, okay, you're building a new subdivision, you're putting in 20 houses,
Yeah.
you're gonna meet your R factor. Then that way there could be a waiver on it maybe, but the engineering and the layout of that development's gonna be a nice, clean development and not a bunch of tails in it.
And they might only
Just
get
like-
18 versus 20.
Right, so that,
Big deal, you know, the way.
yeah, exactly, so it makes it a more presentable,
Livable.
Yeah.
livable,
And it-
presentable
and it should be
area.
that way if you're developing a new subdivision.
Yeah.
Right, that's what we're
But
talking
We
about.
could start there, yeah, we could start, yeah.
Start with new,
Yeah.
There are a
Yeah.
lot of lots that.
new entities, especially,
Yeah.
I mean, like the Sutton Douglas development, you know, it could have been used there. You're putting in 30 houses.
Yeah, and there was
Lay
a
it all
couple
out.
that were odd. Yeah.
Odd lots.
Yeah.
And this would maybe clean that
More
stuff
than
up.
more than one lot, let's just
Yes.
say. Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah,
think that
that's
would be a
fine.
good
Yeah,
spot to start with on doing something like this.
because you have a huge parcel. so
Because you're dealing
you
with,
shouldn't be
you're dealing with 100 acres to
making
begin
weird
with or whatever to
lots.
start with.
Yeah, just to get an extra lot or two. Yeah, okay.
Through the chair, I wouldn't mind seeing that in a subdivision regulation, but I also wouldn't want to prevent a homeowner or someone that owns property to not be able to do what they want to do with,
I agree.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly, and that's why keep it in maybe a new development area and not so much in people that have land and is trying to divvy it up or give it to
Right.
a son, a daughter, or a parent. You don't want to stop that.
Right.
Or it's something new where you're starting with a big chunk.
There's
It's
no
easy enough-
reason to have
no reason not to be able to do it.
tails, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Madam Chair, when they adopted this in Auburn, where I used to work, they adopted it in 1995, and they put a provision on there that says should not apply to lots shown or recorded on the registry of deeds before, and they picked the date of town meeting that year, May 4th of 1995. So we could pick a date to say anything before this.
18.
wouldn't
oh,
apply
yeah, that's fine.
subdivision.
Yeah, but,
To your point.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking excluding single lots.
Sure.
Okay. What else does everybody have for Mr. Zwicker?
I don't know, we gave Matt a bunch of stuff the other meeting. Okay.
I still have so much to put together.
Okay.
But I really want to tackle this because this really got me going, that tech review.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just looking at it again. Yeah, the R factor is really going to start running because with the concept plans that are coming out, how soon they're coming in, I'm not saying we should get this enacted before those plans come. I'm not trying to race them or anything. It's just, if they're gonna keep coming like the ones I just saw, then we should be ready for it. So, but I'll definitely take into the other things that we talked about last week as well. Yeah, we had a little busy day, a busy week in our office. It's been interesting.
Okay, so are you going to gather the proposed changes? Anyone else besides Mr. Zwicker want to submit anything? They can submit them to Mr. Benoit. And Miss, did you have anything that you?
All set.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming by.
Of course.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's the parameters on this? How much time do we have? How long do you want to work on this? Is there an end date, or is this
No,
a work in progress?
good question, through the chair. We don't need to go to town meeting for these. We just hold a public hearing for it, see if there's any other comments from the folks, and then we can accept it. So,
Good.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, anything else?
Motion to adjourn?
Actually, I do have something.
Motion, yes, paused.
Please.
Yes.
I have a question. I just want to throw something forward. One of my concerns was when you have, it's regarding, I just want to throw this out there, when you have conditions where you have day after day after day of dry conditions, low humidity, you can get into issues where you have some of these sites where you have open areas. But my concern is, in terms of these open areas, are they being overseen, are they being supervised in terms of restoration, reclamation? Let's see what else I have here. I can give you an example of this. Slope. So, one example would be, I was driving by Pine, and it was like Oklahoma in the 30s. I had to close my window. It was just, and I'm thinking about the people who live in that area. Because that's who we're here. That's why we're here. We're not here for this. We're here for them. And that's here for them. So my concern is, if you look at that particular site, where are we in terms of restoration and reclamation, if you will? It's my understanding, I asked how many permits. I was looking for copies of the permits. It's my understanding there were 5 permits. And I wanted to ask you, are there 5 active permits on that site? Or what's the situation there?
We are picking up all those files. Not just because Mr. Preston asked us to, but the building commissioner probably within the same day asked me the same question.
Because
So, yeah, dust control was a big deal.
Yeah.
Wasn't just Mr. Preston's employee, but others called about several sites in town. So we reached right out to the developers, hey, what's going on with this? In the case of Pine, they said, look, we've been on this all day, we can't get ahead of it. Like Mother Nature is.
Yeah, they use a glue type of substance to spray theirs. Yeah,
But
it's
to our
mixture.
knowledge, do we know that they're doing the restoration as per the bylaw?
So
I mean,
it's,
you have
they're
10 acre
phasing the
permit,
portions.
Right, you're supposed to be reclaiming, is it 2/3 of it, Bernie? While you're working on 1/3? Now, if you drive by that road, right across from the gas station, it's supposed to be a 2-to-1 slope? No more than 41? I saw that. It's kind of like this.
It really is.
I mean, you're waiting for it to come tumbling down, so it made me question oversight in terms of restoration and, adhering to those active permits. And back-to-back permits, piggybacking permits was something new to me. Because what you do is you take a 10-acre area and you multiply it by 5 all of a sudden. You have a really big area there. So it's a concern. There are people living just down the road, of course.
Yeah.
And it was under certain conditions, when things when it's really dry and there's no rain, and there's low humidity, it can be problematic, I think. So I just don't know.
I think Mr. Benoit can get the information for us on the dates and when we extended the permits.
Yeah, we're already started looking into that.
Yeah. I'm just gonna start signing stuff.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Leaving?
Yeah, I have my rides here. I'm gonna just sign this. Vice Chair's gonna take over. If there's any other questions,
Have a good night.
thanks. I'm gonna sign this stuff over here.
No ongoing developments.
No, it's proposed now.
Did Sutton Douglas start up? I know it's not on the agenda, but.
Good question. You know what? I will add that to ongoing development because I did get an update from them recently.
Okay.
They're looking to hopefully start in July, but they're not totally sure about that yet. I keep reaching out to them because I want to make sure our consultants are engaged to their start date before they start taking their first tree down.
Yeah.
Are they going to be going into Duval to start?
Yes.
They're going to start it on the southern side. Yep.
That's phase one.
Yep.
No updates, nothing else? All right. Minutes, how we looking?
Pretty good, Mike. Minutes in the package.
These are new, so I haven't read
We'll
them.
hit them next week. Next time, next month.
Okay, and just circle back to, Mr. Benoit's updates,
We received
of course.
an email today, and it's just from the Town of Mendon Select Board. They're just inviting us to a workshop, and I just wanted to make sure I got it to the planning board members in case you're interested in attending. It's utilizing green stormwater infrastructure, environmental friendly stormwater management solutions.
Is there food?
It is Tuesday, June 13th from 9 to 11 a.m. in Mendon Town Hall. At 8:30, refreshments will be available.
Boy,
The workshop will begin at 9.
mimosas.
Just wanted to pass that along.
Thank you.
If anyone's interested.
I would be, but
We all got to
I
work.
work.
We're all at work.
Yeah. Or playing pickleball.
Yeah.
Just see over here.
all right, we'll hold off on minutes for next time, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Well, made by Mr. Zwicker.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Greco. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
We have